The party of emancipation, now the party of subjugation. All that and more now on Graph's Grievances. 170 years ago next month, the Republican Party was founded in Wisconsin to oppose the expansion of slavery into the Western territories. At the party's second convention in 1860, former Congressman Abraham Lincoln was chosen to be their presidential nominee. Later that year, Lincoln would go on to win the general election and become the 16th president of the United States, by sweeping all the electoral votes in the free states. And just 3 years later, in 1863, Lincoln would issue one of the most important documents in American history, the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring, quote, that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are and henceforward shall be free. Although the order did not end slavery in America, it captured the hearts and minds of millions and fundamentally transformed the ongoing Civil War. Lincoln's courage and dedication to preserving the Union, cementing him in history as arguably the greatest president in American history. And his young political coalition, the Republican Party, as the party of freedom and the party that forever freed the slaves. Yet despite this extraordinarily admirable foundation, the Republican Party of today is antithetical to its original principles. Under former President Donald Trump and, frankly, other 21st century Republican leaders, the GOP has increasingly stoked racial divisions and embraced white supremacy. That founding belief in freedom that later evolved into the political philosophy known as limited government, gone, forgotten. Now, the Republican Party seeks to control seemingly all aspects of your life. After the Republican-appointed justices on the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the constitutional right to an abortion 2 years ago, Republican lawmakers across the nation went to work restricting women's rights, banning them in many jurisdictions from making their own healthcare decisions and controlling their own bodies. This war on women expanding to an all-out war on families late last week, when Alabama's High Court ruled that the destruction of embryos constitutes a crime under the state's wrongful death of a minor law. The Chief Justice, writing in his opinion, quote, even before birth, all human beings have the image of God, and their lives cannot be destroyed without effacing his glory. This shocking ruling cheered by anti-abortion Republican activists and leading some of Alabama's largest hospitals to immediately stop in vitro fertilization. Freezing embryos has now become widespread practice in the U.S., with 1 in 6 Americans struggling with fertility, including former Vice President Mike Pence and his wife, and 2024 Republican hopeful Nikki Haley. So why are some embryos destroyed? During IVF, couples often produce several embryos in hopes that at least one will become a healthy baby. However, some embryos produced are determined by doctors to not be viable and are therefore never transferred into a female's uterus. This Alabama ruling would require all IVF embryos, regardless of viability, to be implanted into a woman, forcing her to suffer multiple pregnancies that result in miscarriages. That is the cruelty anti-abortion Republicans want to subject women to, as they remain hell-bent on forcing all Americans to live under their religious beliefs. What happened to the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution prohibiting the government from establishing a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof? It really isn't that complicated. If you don't want to use IVF or get an abortion, don't. If someone else wants to use IVF or get an abortion, the Constitution permits them to do so. You can believe that embryos are babies, as Nikki Haley says she does, and I can believe embryos are not babies. The Republican insistence that we all must live under their radical religious beliefs is not only contrary to the founding principles of their own party, but the founding principles of the United States. And my guess is that the Republican Party will keep losing major elections until they dispense with their authoritarian tact and re-embrace freedom and liberty. Thank you for watching Drafts Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share. It really helps me grow this channel. And join me tomorrow for more.